So Colton, you were actually scheduled to be a guest on my show in studio before we halted production. I was at home on our forced break and I saw your name trending. Of course, I clicked on, and there you are trending because you had tested positive for COVID-19. What were your symptoms? What made you decide to get tested?
Well, originally I just thought that I had the flu. Statistically speaking, in California, I didn't think I would be one of the 40 people at the time that tested positive until one night I woke up at 4 a.m. gasping for air, not being able to catch my breath. And that was a time where I realized I pretty much checked off every box of the symptoms that we knew were for the coronavirus. It took me 3 doctors to finally find one who had tests because I wanted to try to get diagnosed and properly medicated for whatever protocol they had at the time.
It's interesting you said it took you a couple of calls to doctors. As you know, people in the beginning were believing that celebrities or people with wealth had this privilege and that it was one of those call a doctor and suddenly you're in, but that you say was not your situation.
No, I actually got declined twice. And then the third one, Cassie, my girlfriend's mom, found on Facebook. So it was like a really, really lucky situation.
And you were in quarantine at Cassie's parents' house, right?
Yeah, we decided at the time, before I was even symptomatic actually, that we wanted to quarantine down in Huntington Beach versus LA just because we live separate and we have our own condos and it wasn't enough space. So we drove down here and I just remember it was just really, scary testing positive and being around her family, but they took such good care of me.
Are you still self-isolating?
No, so I'm actually clear now. We got retested. The family actually got tested as well, and they all tested negative. And I think that's just because they took the proper steps to stay safe at home. We were actually assigned a caseworker from the health department to sort of help guide us through this because it was such foreign territory.
Now, I don't want you to think that I'm just always on Twitter looking for when you were trending, but I saw you trending again when you were receiving death threats because of the medicine that you took, the hydroxychloroquine, which helped you say helped you get better. People were upset that you were taking this medicine.
Yeah, so the medicine was actually at the time being recommended by the president, and there wasn't a ton of clinical research behind it. The FDA did not approve it at the time. Once again, I'm very fortunate that my doctor gave it to me because I truly believe that the combination for me worked. I do know there are some bad side effects to it, and I did experience a couple of them, but none worse than what the coronavirus is. And that's at least for me, I could speak from my experience. I
know we have so much to talk about, but I do want, since you mentioned bad side effects that affected you, what were those side effects? Because people will want to know.
Yeah, additional anxiety and sort of night terrors, sort of having strange dreams were the ones that were affiliated for me.
Wow. Well, you've been very open about it. It is very unfortunate that people would lash out in that way, but your transparency on it, I think, is important as we all try to understand what's gone wrong, what's gone right. You obviously made a name for yourself as the Bachelor and your journey, and you and Cassie are there quarantined together, a family. But you've got this new book, The First Time Finding Myself and Looking for Love on Reality TV. I feel like reading the title alone, I should say, dun, 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 because that just seems that it would be packed with just some intrigue. Do you look back at your decision to go on The Bachelor with regret, or is it one that you are happy you did it because you learned some things about yourself?
I try to not live with regrets. Of course, I always admit I could do things better. I could have handled situations much better, but I don't regret going on because I found out so much about myself. I was challenged in ways I never knew I needed to be challenged and pushed. And that's not only speaking in my relationship, that's with myself and my relationship and my love for myself, which is so strange to go on a show looking for love with somebody else, but finding it with yourself first and then preparing yourself. So I can't thank the franchise enough. I can't thank the show enough for putting me in a position to grow as a human being, because I've never experienced that type of growth throughout my, entire life, let alone what I've packed into these last 2 years. So I have no regrets about going on the show.
Well, I love that. I mean, they tell you can't love someone else until you can love yourself, and to learn yourself is a part of that journey. Well, the new book is juicy. The First Time Finding Myself and Looking for Love on Reality TV. Well, I'm happy to see a smile on your face. Give my best to Cassie and her family, and continue to stay safe. Quarantine in, and we'll get through this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.